Good day and welcome to the Power Up. I'm your host, Tami Hill Thomas, and I'm honored to be with you today as we discuss global, national news that can impact you and your community. And as we learn to build and strengthen ourselves in this journey called life, I have the honor of working with you today to help educate, equip, elevate, and empower so that you can make a difference where you are. As we've discussed this morning, many topics that impact us on the global front, but also as individuals, so that we can be the best us possible. Because remember, the best you that you are is the best neighbor, sister, aunt, co-worker, worshiper, whatever you touch reflects the power of you. So let's get started. The Power Up this morning wants to take a moment during this summer travel season to kick off with some edifying tips on how you can be prepared for your global and national travel. Listen, remember your preparation can often be what helps you in a moment of crisis. We live in the moment right now that we want to have fun and enjoy life, right? You have that expectation to hopefully have a great quality of life because it just reflects the wonderfulness that the earth has for us. It also helps to replenish and restore the valuable energy that we often exude and release to help everyone else and do the work that our hands are here to do. But when you have an opportunity to vacation or even staycation that's enjoying in your area, there are some things you want to put in place to help you prepare for safety, to make sure that at the end, if something happens, you're prepared, right? And not just you, but your family, those who are traveling with you. So let's talk about and share just a few tips. Considering global international travel for a moment, there's a few things that can help anybody as they prepare. First of all, making sure that your passport is up to date is number one. I tell folks often, you might easily be able to get into another country. That's not the problem. The problem is going to be getting back home. So if you're an American or even watching this from another country, you want to make sure that you're in a place where you don't have any hiccups, delays, any way that that border security might have an issue with allowing you to return. The pandemic emphasized this in many ways, where individuals who were traveling for work before these global shutdowns happened might not have had their visas or their paperwork with them because they were doing normal travel. Well, in that moment when the shutdowns happened, it required many state departments and embassies around the world to have to find nuanced ways of confirming identity. Family, before you even begin your trip and your travel, your fun, your opportunity to just relax, make sure that you put time into ensuring your paperwork and identity is helpful. It's in place, it's accurate, and it's easily available to you, might not be to those who might be of a criminal mindset. Make sure your passport, your visas are up to date. There are ways you can find this out by Googling your local State Department, by looking to see what information is available of public record. And then, of course, when in doubt, take the trip to your passport office. Can always be beneficial to take that day off in preparation just to confirm. Also, remember how important it is to have your health care when you get back. You want to be healthy going, but you also want to make sure that while you're in those overseas locations, again, whether you're coming from Europe here or whether going from America, where I'm located, to Europe, you want to make sure that your health is covered. No matter what might happen on that cruise ship, that you can get the assistance you need. Find out how you can prepare for the country you're going to. Do your research. What are they dealing with in that area that you might need to get that immunization for prior to going? Here's a shot. It's a needle. Yeah, it hurts, but it's going to be helpful. Find out what you can take with you that might be an over the counter medication just in case. I'll give you this. Most folks who take cruises know very well how important it is to have those Dramamine patches you can put behind your ear. I'm not promoting the Dramamine brand, but when you're dealing with nauseousness from seasickness, even if you're the type of person that has no problem with any of that regularly, when you get on that ship for the first time, it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it, right? So consider your health, where you are before you travel, how you feel, making sure that you can stand in the midst of and enjoy all the walking, all the sightseeing. Come on, take your knee brace if you have back issues and knee issues. Wear your comfortable shoes. Invest in yourself so that you can enjoy the ride. Another tip to make sure you're well aware of and prepared for: stock your wallet with currency. What recently there was a country where I was planning to visit, and I just happened to make sure I did my research in advance. And what I found was, because they were having currency issues in that country, they limited how much money individuals could take out of the ATM. So while there, I'm not just competing as a travelist, wanting to buy stuff, wanting to experience, but you've got the local citizens who are also drawing and living their lives. So, as much as possible, make sure that you can stock your wallet with the currency necessary. And I want to help folks for a minute. Do you know that when you're traveling internationally, you can order the currency from your local bank before even going to the airport? My son went to Austria, and we went to our local bank and put in an order for how much currency we wanted him to take with him, what he carried in his wallet, what he kept in his bag, what he stuffed in the bottom of his shoe, what he put in different places, just in case he was robbed, he wouldn't have it all at one location and could make sure he had enough to eat. But the tip is, you don't have to just wait till you get to the airport and to that stand in the line at that currency exchange booth. Take time to prepare. Family, one more for you. Travel insurance is everything, especially when we're discussing overseas travel. And I'm not just talking about your flights, right? When we hear travel insurance, we think in case a flight is delayed or in case it is even canceled, to make sure your baggage is covered. You want to make sure that you can insure your entire trip, your lodging. Let's say something happens and you have to cancel with that hotel. What travel insurance does that hotel have? How can you become part of a travel package where insurance might be valuable? Consider speaking to a travel agent to find out what protections can be in place when you are enjoying your moment. I'm trying to share what I know from a few experiences. You want to make sure that your passport and visas are up to date. Make sure to take the time and prepare. Get your immunizations. Just make sure you're in good health. Because can you imagine having a cold or having a toothache and then going on a flight? Woo! When you land, how much are you really going to enjoy? Make sure those protections and processes, even considerations, are in place, right? Consider making sure you get your currency so you're not relying on what that other country might have. And most importantly, speak to your financial advisor. Go to the bank and ask their advice and opinion about you going to that particular area. Now, while those are some global tips, let me help my national folks. Come on now. There are some great things that you can enjoy here in the United States. But again, it gets to preparation. You might not have as much of a problem with currency if you're going from the East Coast to the West Coast. But how is your credit card if you're not one who carries cash like me? One of the things that we recommend here at the Power Up is to speak to your financial institution before your trip. If they're a good financial institution and they notice your credit card spending on the West Coast and you live on the East Coast, they should immediately lock it. for your protection, right? So if you take the opportunity to discuss with them in advance, I'm going on a trip. I'm going to actually hit 5 states. I'm driving down the whole coast. So you're going to notice purchases in this state, in this state, in this state. But they're all meant to make sure that these are the places I'm going to so that I'm protected. Preparation, family, have that conversation with the people responsible for your money. Because again, if their systems and protections are in place, you should be locked out. And if not, you want to know, what are you doing to protect me? So that, let's say I am in another state and lose my credit card. How can you ensure that I'm immediately locked? Where on my app should I have that information so that I can press a button? Who do I need to call? What are the phone numbers? Family, it's all meant to make sure you can enjoy and still be safe. Consider those who might be going to Disney World, right? And you're enjoying the rides, but you're going from vendor to vendor to vendor. You're buying that wonderful funnel cake, and then you're going to buy Mickey for the baby, and then you're going somewhere else to get the ears. Well, that's a lot of money to a lot of different purchases. You want your financial institution to be aware that's your plan so that you again are protected. Because let's say your card was stolen and somebody else is enjoying Mickey. You want to make sure that when you dispute those claims, that your financial institution is already aware and protecting you as well, okay? So even for your national travel, preparation is key. And the same thing about making sure your wallet's stocked with currency. We are in the information age. Sadly, that means subject to hacks. How many times have we seen on the news recently that there have been banks that have been hacked, where your personal information might have been compromised? There are even some banks that are going under because they're unable to cover costs for investments they supported. Knowledge is power. Make sure that you're prepared with the cash, just in case you get somewhere and that ATM is not working. You still got to eat. So make sure that as much as you put into the plan to enjoy where you're going, you put into the a beginning effect of making sure your paperwork, your health, your finances are in order, so that if an emergency happens in that place, you can still exist and be prepared. Family, you want to return as refreshed, revived, with the memories of fun. So do what you can on the front end to help you. We hope those tips equipped you and maybe even educated you on where you can find resources and tap into those local entities that can help you in your trip process planning. So as we go into the next segment, we're going to share more from the Power Up. Stay tuned. There's more after this.
Hey, how you guys doing? This is Regina Hutt, the wellness practitioner at Empower Mornings. Join me every Monday at noon to work out with Regina on One Network.
What's up, family? It's your girl, Terry Y. Hicks of the amazing Fab Five, and I am here to tell you to tune into the Empowered Morning Show Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the WIN Network.
Welcome back to the Power Up. We're excited that you're joining us today and to be able to continue to share information to help you be the amazing you through knowledge increase and hopefully a little bit of inspiration and motivation as well. We're now going to step into the health front. We take this opportunity to focus on tips that can help this body have the best quality of life while you're here. Remember, you have that wonderful date of birth when you embarked on this earth. You will at some point, because no one lives forever, have that transition date. And what's between is that dash. What you do with it to live out loud and on purpose. On this health front, we want to take a minute to share some tips and information to help the women, those who are walking in this body that has an anatomy of a female. When you consider a lot of what females face, right? This isn't something that's new. Many of the women who have walked this planet dealt with atmosphere changes. They dealt with the unknown from medical circumstances. A lot of times, medical information has evolved over time. There are diseases and diagnoses that we have now that didn't exist 50 years ago. 100 years ago, when women were still walking the planet. Remember, we're the nurturers of the earth. As we birth, generations happen. So our bodies take a natural beating sometimes. What we want to do is be the best us possible. Now, brothers, no worries. We're going to focus on men's health in the upcoming Power Up sessions. But today, information that you gain will help you care for mama, auntie, your wife, your boo, your daughters, those nieces, your cousins, the ones that look up to our male role models, because we do. Men have a great impact on the lives of women. So you're hearing this information is just as important. Heart disease, breast cancer, osteoporosis, autoimmune diseases impact the female anatomy at a greater percentage than men. Known facts and statistics show that women just naturally deal with some of the things from the earth a lot more at a higher rate than men. Now, while it's true that men can also experience breast cancer because it's tissue that are found many times in lymph nodes throughout the body in the men's anatomy as well. Certainly women who have the ability to naturally feed babies have to deal with a much higher level of breast cancer. We have many warriors among us. Shout out to those who have been experienced and are overcomers for any type of cancer. Women are susceptible to a lot of diseases naturally because of how we're built. So let's talk about a few ways that you can help your body, sisters. Whether you have light skin, dark skin, whether you're from an ethnicity across the water here in the States, we are all females in different ways, but commonly built in similarities. One of the things that's an underrated tip that we as women sadly experience the neglect of is sleep. The impact of rest will allow a body to replenish. I'll put it this way. How often does your computer automatically kick off or go into a sleep mode or need to update with all of the different apps and need to have antiviruses rolling and running, right? Your computer automatically needs that scrub and refresh mode. It's the same with your body. It's the same with our moms and those who are aging in front of us that we're seeing that might be moving a little slower, feeling a little weaker. Even the same with those teenage girls that are stepping into new things because of hormonal changes they might not know. But sleep can impact us all in a plus way. Consider how much you allow your body to have a state of rest. Meditation, quiet, changing the scenery so that it's not just binge watching, looking at that computer screen that can cause migraines. You're not just looking down at that laptop a lot of times that can cause, or your phone, tech neck, can cause that osteoporosis, can cause the issues we deal with rotator cuffs. Come on, I'm trying to help somebody. It's about making sure that anything you do doesn't just cause wear and tear, but causes restoration. Let's be intentional on how much we step away from those computer screens. Family, the screen itself is a lot of light that pushes at you. That's how you see the pixels that cause the picture. So distortions and having your eyes and your mind have to adjust to different screens, to different terms, to different things your brain might take a minute to catch up with. If you have an opportunity to limit that time, it gives your eyes, your brain, your body another way of rest. Of course, the all-important one, getting more fruits and vegetables. That oftentimes those of us who are on the go, come on, soccer moms, PTA presidents, those who are in the community, you're part of the civic association, who work in your church, maybe you're the youth group, or maybe you have book clubs. Those who are the CEOs of your own company, come on, somebody. How much are you feeding that energy into yourself that you're pouring in to everybody else? I heard a girlfriend tell me one time when I was tore up from the floor up, Tammy, you're always giving and doing. Are you sitting? Are you resting? And I realized then that my gauge of I gotta go at 1,000 gives no space for me to build to 2,000 so that I can enjoy not just being that person that pours, because I love being that lender. I love being that motivator, but it also allows me to be at my best. So family, your sleep, stepping away from the screen and increasing the plants you eat with less artificial additives. I know. Folks are like, we always hear about having to eat more and we have to watch what we eat and there's diets everywhere. I understand. Can be frustrating too, right? What's important though, I would rather have a lot of options than be stuck and forced to have to get on a diet because my body is now going through an issue. When I went through surgery recently, I was put on a very strict diet. They gave me a more list of what I couldn't have. And I actually made a joke and said, so the only thing I can have is air then, huh? You taking everything away from me. But it had to be removed to help me restore, to help my organ grow, to help my organ replenish what it needed. I would rather make healthy choices now on a daily basis that's still going to have me fly at 80, still going to have me moving and enjoying life in the future, knowing that if I do a little now, it makes a difference. And it's not sacrifice anymore. We got to change the channel and change perspective. It's not sacrifice. What are you sacrificing? You're investing. I'd rather put this into me, knowing that sassy is always going to be around, that sexy is always an option for me. I might not be able to do those 3-inch heels, but honey, let me find some flats. I can work. Living outside of limits so that we can still be the best us. Staying active, that movement. Remember, if you're at a state of rest, your body tends to stay at rest. But when you're in a state of motion, your body will long to stay in motion. So while you're changing your eating habits, that salad, start with once a week. Those smoothies, start with every Friday. That smoothie place around the corner. I'm going to try a smoothie for lunch instead of throwing back that rack of ribs. Come on, consider what you can do to be the best you. Here at the Power Up, our job is to help edify and equip. And so what we want to do is share tips and reminders. And most importantly, empower you to be the great you were created to be. Sleep makes a difference. Your body being in a place of calm. We had one, I'll share a quick story. We were in couples counseling years ago. A friend was starting a couples group and we said, sure, let's do it. Couples counseling is good when things are going well, honey. Come on and connect and let's make us better. It's not always about trouble. In fact, it'll have a way of preventing those trouble moments because you're brokering new communication and keeping excitement. All right, different segment. But while we were in this particular session, the individual, the instructor said, all right, everybody's going to look eye to eye. And for 2 minutes, you're just going to stare in your spouse's eyes. No communication, no talking, nothing but quiet. Go. 2 minutes. You're in a state of peace. You're learning how to just be. Whatever's in your mind is in your mind. But the connection is more important. So what I challenge you today is to remember that your peace is more important than what everybody else is going to give you. Their opinions are just that, theirs to own, not yours to own. What you believe in you is what you can put into yourself. We're going to talk about that more. But remembering self-care, self-love, and tips on how you can actually practice that. Do you go till you drop in the bed? Or do you say, all right, 10 o'clock, put my phone down, going to cut it all the way down or plug it up, not going to be on the phone anymore, not looking on surfing any of the web-based, nothing. I'm just going to give my eyes a chance to step away from the screen. I'm also going to cut off my TV. I'm going to allow myself just to be. Even if you cut on your jazz or you have your candles lit, whatever works for you, do you allow yourself that space, that time to just have grace exist? Because the same that you are to other people, you deserve to be to you. So you're stepping away from the screen. And then you're also considering on a daily habit, a daily basis, what can I do to eat better? Because I am what I eat. So for my junk food junkies, just plan to have the dental visits. Just make sure that they can get back there with the sugar stores that maybe your water pick, your floss, all that isn't getting to. I'm not telling you not to enjoy those Snicker bars, honey. That's on you. Just remember that what you consume stores, right? So anything you'll hear from a physical fitness a professional is going to say you have to move because you have to burn. So it's all about consumption. If I limit or if I switch, if I make my plate more green than everything else, I'm allowing my stomach to process what's naturally from the earth. You ever find it interesting that when you go to a restaurant, the first thing they offer you is a salad? First thing they bring you is water. Consider how you can help you replenish, restore, and live a healthy quality of life. I want to share this tip to my folks who are on prescription drugs. There are things you can do to help. There are many diseases and diagnoses that are not unto death. They are reversible. Did you know diabetes is reversible? Hypertension is reversible. Did you know there's things you can do that start with what you eat and start with movement? Start with stress level reduction, self-care that can help you get off those prescription drugs one at a time. Family, what we need you to do is be educated and empowered to be the best you possible. We hope these tips were helpful. Know that there's more we're going to tap into after this break, so stay tuned. There's more to come.
Marshall Weeks here with you on Financial Friday. Are we comparing ourselves to others or to God's assignment for our life? Our energy is best served in learning about money to make informed and strategic decisions based on our current circumstance and our future goals, opposed to creating a wealthy versus poor agenda. The past can't be changed, but we all have the opportunity to change our present and future. At a certain point, we have to accept that our parents, grandparents, and people we didn't know sacrificed their physical bodies for our economic development. They did the best they could or what they were able to do at the time. We are grown, stone grown as my mom would say, and responsible for our own decisions. As believers, we are supposed to know God is going to place the people on our path to make sure we get the knowledge needed, and especially if we didn't get it when we were supposed to. But how many know God's timing is perfect? And whether you're 25 or 62, He still wants you to prosper. Prosper meaning spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically, and financially. As believers, we should know this. And if you didn't know, you heard it here first. So the next time the devil presents you with one of his old pop quizzes that's not secret because you know he's coming, he presents to us a multiple choice question about the areas we're supposed to prosper in and says, choose one. Spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically, or financially, we're going to overcome the trick of the enemy and write in all of the above. See, he forgot that although the financial playing field might not be level in the physical, a believer has connections to the spiritual, and favor ain't fair. See, God gave us the Bible, and our tests are always open book. You've been empowered because you should prosper.
Welcome back to the Power Up. I'm your host, Tami, and so glad you joined me today. We've touched on many things that have helped us as individuals grow and gain knowledge. We're not going to stop just yet. As we move forward into this motivation moment, we want to answer some questions that we've received from viewers that address motivation. One of the questions that I received was, Tami, tell me how. I get people that ask all the time, what do you mean by motivated? How do I make myself get motivated when I'm down? I've even had folks tell me in a very raw, direct way, I can take my motivation thoughts and keep moving because they were not feeling it because of the struggles of life and how heavy things had gotten in what they've been dealing with. First, we want to acknowledge that life is hard. No one has a secret sauce and a lie to give you that says you will never deal with any issues in life. And if someone's told you that, let me be the one to say, death exists. Earthquakes happen. Storms come through. There are times when there's things out of our control, like financial institutions, like crashes to the economy. We don't have any control in our home over those things. We're in a day right now where we're dealing with inflation. The price of eggs is $8 a cart, y'all. Everything is high. We're dealing with gas prices out the roof. And those things impact us where we can allow them to manifest through stress. We end up taking Tylenol or those drugs more often to help immediately try to alleviate the pain from that headache. Maybe it's different type of medications or substances that you might use to numb the pain. There's been a lot of bereavement that folks are experiencing through the pandemic. After the pandemic, age happens. And it's just hard to say bye to mama, to that favorite auntie or uncle. It's hard to let go of those we love. I was with a girlfriend recently who had to let her fur baby go. And that was one of the individuals in her home that connected with her the most. She had history from college with that little pup. So bereavement can manifest in many ways. A loss hurts. What we want to share with you today is how you can motivate yourself. I was asked how do I do it? And I just want to thank her for asking that question. Because there are ways, tangible, that you can lift yourself. Now, I want to be very clear. This is not a magic potion. It doesn't mean the situation is going to change. You still have to bury that loved one. You still have to live with that loss. You still have to find a way to put one foot in front of the other day by day without that person you can pick up the phone and talk to, right? You might have received that pink slip, the job you love so much. You still have to now know you won't see those coworkers. You won't get to do that work. And now I've got a shift where I've got to find a way to eat. So life is going to give you struggles. That's what life is. So the first thing I want to do is have you consider accepting where you are. When you have blinders on, it's very, very hard to move forward in a reality state. As a rape counselor, one of the first things that we tell individuals, or as we walk with them, we remind them of is that, first of all, what happened is something that happened. To believe that it didn't only causes a delay in the healing process. For folks, when I counsel, when they're dealing with a breakup or a divorce, right? When they're just dealing with anything that causes a pull, a separation, or a stab wound. Listen, you're looking at a girlfriend who my best friend stabbed me in the back. It hurt. And that was years ago. Even when I think about it, that comes back. What's important is to know that even though it happened, it's not meant for you to stay there. Whatever the it is, what I want you to do today is take a pen and a piece of paper, and I want you to write it down and all that you're feeling about it. Yeah, I told you we were going to give tangible tips here. We're about healing here on the Power Up, on the We Empower Network, y'all. It's not just that stuff happens to us. It's how we deal with it, right? How we allow life to still be great in spite of the stuff that happens. So get that pen and that paper. Whatever you're thinking of right now that hurts, doesn't have to be bereavement, doesn't have to be loss, can be anything that you're just struggling with, right? That something happened in your past and it hurt. I want you to write it down on a piece of paper. What is the it? My boyfriend, write his name, cheated on me when I was in high school. And to this day, I struggle with trusting men. That's just an example. Write it down. You know why that's important? When you write it, it allows you to acknowledge it. It allows you to see it. And here we go. It allows you to start considering releasing it. You're not holding it here anymore. And that's the goal. So once you write it down and everything you're feeling, I saw his page on Facebook and it upset me. And now he's married and happy. And I just feel like I want to, whatever you're feeling, your feelings are valid. This is a judgment-free zone. We're not here to say, boo, get over it. We are here to walk together into our greatness. So write it down on a piece of paper and all you're feeling. And then this is what I want you to do. I want you to take that piece of paper and fold it. After you fold it, because I know that there are folks of many faiths that might watch this show, consider speaking to in whom you believe. I know the God that I believe. And one thing I believe is that he didn't forget about me. I believe that he loves me. So fold that, and with everything you believe, say whatever prayer you need to say. Help me heal. Help me get beyond it. Help me to be wonderful. Help me to get to a point where I'm better. Help me, because you asking for help is saying out loud that you're in a place ready to receive it. Come on, y'all. This is good stuff here. So fold that paper up. Help me get beyond. Help me be better. Help me with my communication. Help me grow. Help me let it go. And then what I want you to do is put it in a bowl and set it on fire. Watch that paper burn. Watch it turn into ashes and go up in smoke. In a safe way, y'all. Don't do this in the wilderness, in a forest. Come on. In a safe way. Watch it release. Watch the smoke of your past and your hurt go. Watch that thing you took time to write. Could have been a big, long poster board. Write as much as you need. Watch it turn into ashes. Because there's greatness that gets birthed out of ashes. Come on, somebody. Consider allowing yourself to then, it's over. I'm making a decision right now. The same way that smoke kept going until I couldn't see it anymore. I'm going to let that hurt go until I can't feel it anymore. Your affirmations, how you speak to yourself, how you push yourself forward is possible. You're the one that has to do it. And I want to just keep reminding you that you are worth the effort. But you've got to get yourself to a point where you are okay not being okay. Where it's time out for stigmas. We're no longer worried about the word crazy. Because you can call me what you want. It's what I answer to. That's the difference. See, I know my hurt comes from a very raw, real place. So I have to give myself something very real that I can touch, very raw that I can see to help me move forward. This exercise might not work for everybody. Some folks are journalists. They write books about it. They put their hurt out there, which is not a bad thing because there's someone else that's feeling the same thing who your story might touch. There are some folks who do videos. They'll go live on social media and just talk and talk. And you know why that's not a bad thing? Because there's people in other countries that are part of the World Wide Web. And you never know what that person might be experiencing that can connect you. There are support groups that are meant to connect each other. Not just like Alcoholics Anonymous, which is a very real program that can assist those who have substance abuse. But if you're in the social media, I'm good at home, Tammy, introvert age, there are groups on Facebook, support groups. You can put in whatever title and get connected to people who are part of the same journey. I'll give you an example. I found that there are maybe over 30 domestic violence support groups. Sisters who have been through it and brothers who are currently in it. Individuals who deal with the fact that their communication breakdown and that they feel hurt and that they're lost and they don't know what the next step is supposed to be. And they're in that space. So what I'm going to challenge you to do, if you've been through that and know the space and know the steps and you're healed from it, consider using your story to help somebody else. How you do it is up to you. The timing is up to you. But the first thing you want to do is be okay releasing. Family, here at the Power Up, we want to make all of us better. Your goals are important. Your visions are important. Your dreams are important. We're going to speak more about those and how they can manifest. But you are the X factor. You are important. Mind, body, soul, finances, relationships, everything about you we need in this earth more now than ever. So stay tuned. There's more after this.
Hey, it's your girl, A Love. Make sure you follow me and Pastor PG, LaShonda Robinson, on Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Girl Let's Talk. And let me tell you, it's not your typical church conversation. Make sure you join us on the WIN Network.
Hi, guys. It's Tina Wynn, your host of the podcast, You See Me. I want you guys to stay encouraged, continue to come out and see me, and most importantly, see yourselves. Remember, the only way that you can truly enjoy life is to see other people so that you can enjoy the beauty of seeing yourself. Come join me Saturdays at 4 on the We Empowered Network. Thank you.
Welcome back to the Power Up family. Wow, what an amazing segment. We started off today by reminding you of how important to make sure that you're prepared for your global and national travel during this wonderful summer season. Not just those who think you've got to just grab the bag and go, But what if the inevitable happens? What if a natural disaster happens? Are you prepared while you're in another country? What if something happens where your luggage is lost? Are you prepared in another state? What if the financial structure in that area gets dismantled, hacked, or shut down, and you can't access any funds? Are you prepared to still be able to eat, exist, and do it in a safe way? So we took time to educate you, to remind you of the importance of your documentation when traveling overseas, to take that opportunity to check with your State Department, or just go ahead down to the passport office. You can make an appointment online to make sure that when you get where you're going, coming back is not an option. To also consider your currency. Yes, you can get currency for overseas at your local bank. They will put an order in and have it shipped right to the bank. All you have to do is go to your financial institution. A lot of folks didn't know that. They thought the only way they could get it is at the airport or in the other country. Family, do what you can to make sure that your health care is covered, that you know what immunizations, you know what outbreaks might be experienced in the area where you're going. So you're prepared, right? Make sure that you also consider trip safety. Never put all your currency in a wallet that can be stolen. Never travel with all your money while you're out in the street. And even if you're traveling with that wonderful plastic, that credit card, how important it is to make sure to touch with your bank, touch base with them. Let them know your plan, the state you'll be going to. Even worth letting them know when you'll return. That way, if they see questionable charges, they can lock it or alert you right away. Family, we just want to equip and educate you here so that you can enjoy life. Yeah, you work so hard to be able to take that vacation. Go on and enjoy it. Put time into your preparation so that in the end, you can return just the way you left things. Okay? And that's on a national front as well. State to state can have some of the same requirements. Should make sure that you're good when traveling, regardless of where you're going. We also took an opportunity to remind our wonderful sisters of some women's health tips. To remember that sleep is important, putting down that laptop, that screen, stepping away from the TV. Your phone is important. How often do you take time to look up at the ceiling? Because we sure do a lot of this all day. And it can cause osteoporosis. It can cause arthritis to be worse in your neck. Consider what you need to do to replenish you. Because the better you are, the better to everybody else you can be. Also, the vegetable increase, the fruit increase. You've got to make sure that you're eating things from the earth. Do you know how wonderful sweet potatoes are and how high in protein they are? How about how blueberries are an antioxidant? That means it gives your blood what it needs to help pump through your body. You can snack on a handful of blueberries, raspberries, strawberries, blackberries, right? Not hard. Might be better than those chips 4 times a day. Now, that was for Tami. You want to do what works for you, family. But it's important to create daily habits. Your movement is important. Park further away in the parking lot. It's just a few steps. Come on, it's not going to break you, especially if it's not raining outside. Consider the long way through the grocery store. Those type of tips that just give you a few more steps. Because as I tell folks, if your knees are hurting now, you might as well use them. They're still going to hurt later. And you moving you will help you stay in a state of motion. Family, we also wanted to take the opportunity to remind you that self-motivation is important. We've got to stop looking for other folks to do what's in our power to do. We put expectations that, oh, well, I know I can call her. She's going to talk me out of this. And then she's not available to answer the phone or going through her own stuff. Instead of saying, okay, I need to find ways to encourage myself. Let me change my music so that it's positive. Not saying that you can't listen to anything that you feel that's a genre for you. But if you're in a mental state where you need that help, In addition to reaching out to resources, consider what you're feeding your ears and what you're feeding your eyes. Your gates are everything that help you stay whole. I do want to remind you of the resources that are available with the National Institute on Mental Health. NIMH has resources on their website that remain available anytime you find yourself in a place where you just need some more assistance, where you need a second to breathe and just see what other options. I only shared just a few today. Step away from the screen, consider eating more healthy, get more sleep and rest, that allowing your peace to be a priority, including with the folks you let come in and mess up your peace. That was something to think about, y'all. National Institute on Mental Health is a great resource. Also consider if you're in a place where it's crisis mode and you feel like this is the end. I don't listen, I can't take it anymore. We would rather hear your story than read about it in an obituary. We need the gifts and talents that are inside of you. And I promise you this one thing, what you're going through, someone else is as well. You are not alone. Feel free to reach out to the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, where there are individuals available and ready to just listen. Have the space to just say hello and let you talk. But the power starts with you. So whether you're in that space or just having a bad day, or how about those folks that I can't get up this morning, or I'm sick and tired, I don't want to go to work. If your response to life is in a place that is not positive, you've got to find ways to put around you what will help you with your positive energy. Those who know me know that I have words all through my house. Every time I see words in stores, I buy them. One, a big wooden word carved, says breathe. Got it from the dollar store, y'all. Another one says relax. Dollar store too. When you go in my bathroom, I have stickies that are positive sayings that are all around me. One says, don't give up, can't quit now. Another one has a scripture from the Bible that just gave me the energy, that reminded me that God goes before me in a situation. I was nervous going into that meeting, and I looked up and I was like, God goes before you. Oh, that's right. Gave me the energy I needed. Okay, let's do this then. Since you're already there at the meeting, I'm gonna stop tripping. Self-motivation is important, because sometimes thinking you can just tap into something else that exists might not work. But one thing that always works is you believing in you. I actually have that word, believe, to remind me that when I'm weak, I gotta believe it more than anybody. With my dreams, I have to believe they're possible more than anybody. You know how many people told me I'd never host a show? I don't need to be doing that. Somebody else is doing it. Girl, why are you trying to? You get it all the time. And then when you get more successful, let me tell my folks that have dreams of starting businesses, yeah, when you get more successful, oh, the hate just comes more. And out the blue, and from people you thought had your back. And can I tell you, it's okay. Haters gonna hate. It's okay. Again, their opinion, not even taking it, not owning it, not receiving it, not accepting it. That's how you feel. It's okay. What you need to do, family, is remember one thing. If no one else on this planet loves me, like somebody told me the other day, I can't stand you. After I just did a whole big conference and she felt intimidated. No, you just think you blah, 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 blah. I can't stand you. And I looked at her and I said, you know, if you don't love me, you don't know what you're missing. And I walked away. Honey, now in my mind, for a quick second, I thought about telling her a few things, but grace, temperance, self-control allowed me to respond instead of reacting. One of the things that we often have to realize is while you're struggling, folks are watching you. That's what witnessing is. Folks watch how you handle stuff. They hear what you say. There are people you impact that are just in the room with you that will never, ever have a conversation with you. Or they're just scrolling through your stuff and copying stuff off your social media page and never, ever talk to you. I got 5,000 friends. I don't know most of those people, but I see my stuff on a lot of other platforms. And it's okay because I would rather be the one generating that positive energy. Doesn't mean there won't be bad times. Doesn't mean that hurt doesn't hurt. What it means is we have the power to get up, to get on our knees, pray if that's where you go, to get your energy, to tap into your energy source. Remember, mind, body, spirit is important. What is your energy source? Something that's beyond all understanding, right? You can't think about it. You can't. It's so much out here. The earth is bigger than it. You didn't create the whole world, but I can tap into the one who did. Come on, family. Once you get up from the situation and you take that breath and allow yourself permission to release it, you give yourself back the power, the control. It no longer controls you. Let me help someone. I counsel a lot of individuals who deal with breakups or who are hurt by other people. Hurt by other people because people, something else. Can I tell you that when you get to a point where you stop looking for validation from people and you start validating yourself every day, your mental state changes. You start realizing, I am enough. That's his loss. He walked away. Woo! Come on now. I told a girlfriend the other day, after one breakup, I went and got a mohawk, totally changed my hairstyle. I got a fashion consultant, went to try to see what I could do to get out of the whole hum clothes I was wearing all the time. And I am just learning how to love life in a new way. New, better. Family, you're not stuck where you are. It's temporary. Just like a photograph, just like a frame in a movie. There's more to come. There's no stuck here unless you allow yourself to stay. Get up, find a way to get moving. Whether it's physically walking in place, whether it's turning that music up so it's blasting louder than what your thoughts are, whether it's tapping into those resources. Therapy is there. Coaching is there. Mentoring, talking to somebody else that you see them doing it and rocking and you want to be like that. Reach out to them. I've done it. Tap into what you need so that not only you feel great, but the world gets to experience your greatness. We're so grateful you joined us today at the Power Up, where we're here to equip, educate, empower, and elevate you so that it's not just a matter of feeling like, oh, okay, it's another show. But, I learned a few things today. And now I have the power to apply and make a difference where I am. Family, we look forward to seeing you next Friday at the same time. Go be great and know you can make a difference.